Hello, my festive fancies. Okay, so this week it's been chilly. There's been a Christmas party, some Christmas drinks, a department Christmas dinner. There's been loads of yummy Christmassy things. So you will notice that there's been quite a few gourmand leaning perfumes, although I don't know that I really wore anything that's entirely gourmand. Maybe one that I would describe like that. And very sweet. This has been a very sweet perfume week. So it's been really, really delicious. If you're watching this and you don't love sweet perfumes, you've got to remember this is kind of sweet by my standards. Some of these I think are just full on sweet, and others, you know, they have a sweet element. But yeah, compared to some sweet stuff, maybe not too sweet. So I'll start with one that some people don't find like massively sweet and other people like me find very sweet. So I've got three from the same brand here, which is wild. It's that time of year. These are so good in cold weather. So I wore Lolita Lempicka, LolitaLand. This is a absolutely delicious. How do you even describe this beautiful perfume? Oh, the vanilla just shines so much in this in cold weather. I do find that because this has like a Bellini note in it, when it's warmer weather, I don't get quite such a yummy sweetness from it. Let's see whether I can actually get this to brighten up a little bit. So in LolitaLand from Lolita Lempicka, you've got Bellini, orange, Italian mandarin, black pepper, lemon, grapefruit and lime in the top. In the mid notes, you've got white peach, plum, black currant, jasmine sambac, jasmine magnolia and a rose. In the base notes, you've got Madagascar vanilla, licorice, benzoin, white musk and sandalwood. So this is kind of one of those weird ones where, although it's peachy, there's something about the mixture of all these fruits that always made me kind of think of apricots maybe a bit more. And I think that's because it's also a bit sugary. But the benzoin and the licorice give this a kind of spicy, and I, again, always think of it as like a Christmas spicy, like, I mean, like, not to repeat myself all the time, it's like a kind of spiced cakey smell, but then you have that sharpness and fizzy feel from the Prosecco or the champagne kind of note in that Bellini. So you do get a bit of that. Definitely, the more that my nose has developed, the more that I can recognise that there are a few florals in here, which stop this being entirely gourmand. But you have that lovely Lolita Lempicka, really creamy vanilla when it dries down. I mean, to be fair, I can smell it right from the beginning, but in cold weather, once this is kind of settled, it is a fruity, spicy, yummy vanilla on me. It's so pretty. Like, oh, I loved wearing this, and it's so strong. I didn't need to reapply this at all. I mean, I put like a tiny bit more on my wrist when I left work, but I'd had it on for like, let's see, like 9 hours maybe by the time I put it back on, and I didn't really need to put it back on. Do you know what I mean? Like, I could have easily not put that back on and I could still smell it on my clothes and my skin. I could still smell it on the top of my hands because I tend to spray it. I tend to spray perfumes like on this bit and my wrist, and I could still smell that even though I'd washed my hands numerous times during the day. So like, my bottle of this and on my skin is an absolute beast. It's just so pretty. It's really nice, and it's very affordable nowadays. Like, it doesn't really cost that much. Oh, I forgot to mention, so the perfumers on this, one of them is called Maya Lernu. I don't know who that is. I'm not sure I've got any of her other perfumes, but also it's a collaboration with Francis Kirk de Jean. So this is one of his before he went off into the aroma chemical nightmare world. But yeah, I've actually got a couple of perfumes from him, but they're all like his older ones. So next up, the house that I wore the most of this week, Lolita Lempicka. Another one that shines so much in cold weather. I've got a weird lid on mine because it's a tester bottle, but this is Lolita Lempicka. This is Mon Premiere. So this is basically the vegan formulation that they first created, I think, of the Lolita Lempicka perfume. But I don't think their fans liked it because it didn't really smell like the original. So it does have elements of the original. And I do see some people just saying that this is like the Lolita Lempicka perfume. But I think this really has quite noticeable differences, and that's why they brought out Le Parfum to kind of be as close as possible to the original Lolita Lempicka. So this one, I was thinking that I would declutter this because I love the original so much, and I love the muskiness of that. I love that it's a little bit more complex, a little more kind of dark smelling. This one is way sweeter, more fruity, less complex. There's way less musk in this. So to me, this is like the girlier, kind of brighter version, and the original Le Parfum, I say the original, the Le Parfum 2021, which is the one I've got, but it's the closest you're going to get to the original formulation of Lolita Lempicka, the original perfume. That is way more sexy. Like, that's kind of date night sexy to me. This one, I feel like this one just made me want to wear that one last time I wore it in winter, so I was thinking I might not keep it. But actually this time I loved it so much, and I was like, I really think this is a mood thing for me. Like the original Lolita Lempicka, because it is musky and sexy, that's kind of a different feeling that I get when I wear that compared to where I wear this one. This one is cherries and sugar, and it's, well, I mean, I'll read you the notes. Cherry, star anise and ivy in the top. Mid notes licorice, violet, orris, amaryllis in the mid. Base notes praline, vanilla, tonka, musk and vetiver. The musk is way amped down. The praline is way amped up. It's very sugary. The cherry is really strong. The licorice and star anise are lower in this one. And I'd say that the violet isn't quite as tangy and as kind of fizzy as it is in the original. But yeah, to me, I think of this as a cherry and praline perfume with a bit of spice in it. Like, I don't get anywhere near the kind of muskiness in this. But it's very sweet and it's quite strong, but it's amazing in cold weather. I absolutely loved wearing this. It was so good. Absolutely. Oh, I've got hiccups, sorry. Absolutely scrumptious. So yeah, they're both Lolita Lempickas that I really like in cold weather. And in fact, a lot of my Lolita Lempickas I like in cold weather because generally speaking, they're quite sweet, but they're absolutely delicious. Let's see. I'm going to jump. It's another slightly bigger bottle, so we'll do this one next. This was an at-home cozy. This isn't really the sort of perfume I'd wear out because this is kind of a not particularly complex sweet smell. Like, there's not a huge amount going on. And this one, I mean, I can totally tell there's heliotrope in this, but it is like, it's definitely another one that's a bit gourmand. So this is Black Sugar by Korres. Do you say Korres or Korres? I'm not sure. Put it that way. So you can see it actually says on here, it says top notes oriental, caramel, heliotrope. Heart notes of rose, black sugar and Brazilian rosewood. Base notes amber, vanilla bean and tonka bean. So it really is a kind of powdery, heliotropy, caramelly smell. It smells like Prada candy. But it's not got the same, again, it's not got quite the same tanginess and brightness as Prada Candy. And I've tested them next to each other because I've got a little sample of Prada Candy. This one lasts so much longer. Like, this is a subtle skin scent, but it's one of those skin scents that on me lasts for a really long time, lasts on forever on clothes. Prada Candy, I actually kind of prefer how that smells overall. I like the fact that it's got a bit more of a tanginess and almost a slight chocolatey feel in that one on my skin, but it just doesn't last for more than like about half an hour. So this is actually a much better value option if you like Prada Candy. And I think the bottle is so cute. So this was just like sitting around the house. It's just really pretty. It's really easygoing. It's powdery. It's cute. Yeah, so that was just an indoor one. My other Lolita Lempicka, let's just go ham with it. I wore Sweet, and I love Sweet. It is so cute, and it's like, it's cherry and chocolate. I mean, that's what that is. It's absolutely scrummy. Yeah, I mean, cherry and chocolate is pretty much it, but it also has a slight lip balm. It's almost like a texture because it's got iris in it, and angelica, in fact. So it's got sour cherry and sugar in the top. Mid notes of cacao, iris, and angelica. Base notes musk and cashmere wood. And if I'm ever going to wear, you know, because I think I was saying actually when I tested out, have you even seen the Sabrina Carpenter Cherry Baby one? I think so. I think it's already been up. That one is much more of a kind of tangy sour cherry, but it smells to me a little bit even more like sweets than this one does. This is a bit more syrupy, I think. That one also, I think, has chocolate in it, but I much prefer this. If I was ever going to advise anyone to get a cherry chocolate perfume, I'd always advise this one. And I think I love that kind of texture of like a chocolate cherry lip balm or something that you get with this, thanks to that iris. I really enjoyed wearing this. I'd forgotten because I haven't worn it for maybe like a year because it's very sweet. Again, it's one for me for cold weather. And I just think it's so yummy. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was delicious. So yeah, I've loved my Lolita Lempickas this week. They are so perfect for this time of year. And they feel slightly Christmassy, all of them. Like, for some reason, I guess it's because you used to get like chocolate cherry stuff, or like I think of like what's it called? Schwarzwärdkirschtorte. I've probably not said that right, but I love saying it. Black Forest Gâteau. It that chocolate cherry combination really reminds me of Christmas. This again is another cherry, and I would say the cherry in here is the same cherry you get in here. It's just not mixed with the same thing, so you get a different vibe. But it's that same Lolita Lempicka cherry, which is syrupy and delicious. But this one, because it's got the interesting spices and it's so sweet, it's so good in cold weather, that one's good. This one fully just smells like, you know what it smells like? Nigella has, I love Nigella Christmas, like that series, like one of my all-time favourite, most calming ever things to watch. Like it puts me in such a nice Christmassy headspace. It's like one of my happy places. But in one of the episodes, I'm not even sure if it's in that series or whether it's one of her Christmas specials from another series, but she makes a thing that she calls holiday hot cake. And it's like a heart-shaped, yummy cake that's just nice and spicy. And it's kind of sticky at the bottom. It's like, it's not quite a sticky toffee pudding. It's not as dense as that. But that's how that makes me feel. And it always makes me think of Christmas because it's just got those lovely spices. Benzoin always makes me think of gingerbread. But yeah, absolutely loved all of these this week. It was so fun. All right. I'm wearing this all the time. You're going to, I'm afraid, be sick of it, but it's so perfect. And again, like this week, I wore at least 3 perfumes that have licorice in. I love it. Oh, don't need to talk about it much because you know I'm obsessed with it. Mon Guerlain, this is the intense version. I'm just going to pop her there. She is lovely and I love her and she's beautiful and perfect. So I'm just rearranging these so I can be happy with the organisation that I'm doing. So that I don't block anything too much because I only got the little one here. Yeah, there you go. Let's mix it up. It gets so dark in here, and I know that's my Christmas tree doing it. I've made a rod for my own back here, haven't I? But, so, I mean, Mon Guerlain Intense, it just smells like the original Mon Guerlain. It really does, but it's more intense. That's exactly what it is. Some people don't like it as much because of the patchouli, but I would say that when I try it in warmer weather, I notice the patchouli more, but in colder weather, it really, to me, just feels like wearing Mon Guerlain. But, like, you know, it's stronger, so it works better in cold weather. So it's lavender, mandarin, orange and bergamot in the top, Tahitian vanilla, Madagascar vanilla, iris, jasmine, sambac and rose in the mid, coumarin, patchouli, licorice, benzoin, Australian sandalwood and white musk in the base. So it's got more vanilla in it, but again, in cold weather, it really just feels like the original to me. Now, you might have seen me talking about this if you watched my Friday video. This is my little sample of Girl of Now from Elie Saab. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right either, but hopefully. I got this out specifically to show you, and now I'm going to have to try and find something to spray it on. So, I'm just reaching across to find something to spray this on, because I did my little video a while back, and then when I had tested it, I was like, I actually like this now, and I think it smells good on me. And what I had kind of realised, I don't know if you can you see? I don't think you can really see because it's so wet, but this has a very a very orangey colour. It's got quite a dark orange colour to this in this little sample sprayer. Very pretty, very floral, but also a bit gourmand. So when I wore this from this sample, what I was thinking was I really like this and I love the scent bubble that's coming off me. If I put my face right up to my skin, the patchouli is a little bit annoying, and I think the patchouli used in all of the Elie Saab perfumes is a bit much for me. However, if I don't put my nose straight up to my skin, I actually loved it. And it worked really nicely on my skin. So I invested, because it's actually quite affordable now, these compared to other perfumes. So I got this delivered for under £30. This is the original Elie Saab Girl of Now. I can tell you for sure I don't like any of the flankers. I only like this one. So I got this one because once I sprayed it, I just felt to myself, I'm going to wear this to my Christmas party. It's got a kind of cute bluey thing at the top. I wore a teal coloured velvet dress to my work Christmas party, and I don't know, it just felt like it would be a really good Christmas party scent because it's quite strong. And it's very floral in a way that really catches on the breeze, if you see what I mean. And I think I got this from was it maybe Just My Look? And it was really affordable. It was such a good price. And I thought, well, I'm just going to get it. This is the 30ml. You don't have to spend a huge amount more to get the bigger ones. And I'm not even sure if this was particularly on special offer. And if it wasn't a huge amount discounted. But I know because I went into John Lewis a while back, and the guy very proudly on the Elie Saab counter just said to me, we're the only perfume in the perfume hall that hasn't raised its prices. So they've become like, especially the Girl of Now range, you can get them for really good prices. So I was quite chuffed about that. This is definitely not one I'd be able to wear every day because the florals are very strong in this, I would say. But for special events, this is really quite noticeable. And my colleague, I was chatting to her for a minute, and then when I walked off, she said, "Oh my God, you smell so good." And then she asked me what it was, and she was like, "Oh," she said, "when you first came in, I didn't really realise, and then when you moved away, you left this kind of lovely smell." And that's exactly what this is. This is like a lovely scent trail. It's so pretty. I know some people are going to definitely find this a bit synthetic smelling. I do think it's maybe slightly synthetic smelling, but like not in a way that bothers me. It's, and that's fine. And a lot of perfumes smell a bit synthetic. This one smells synthetic, but I love it. So this is pistachio, pear, mandarin orange in the top, mid notes of almond, orange blossom, magnolia in the mid, almond milk, tonka bean, cashmere and patchouli in the base. So I don't know, because as you can see, this is a light colour. That's nice and yellow. This has gone orange. So this is darkened up to be, I don't think it's quite this dark, but it is more of this kind of shade now. When I put it on my skin, you can really see it. I'm not going to do that now because I don't need to be wearing this first thing in the morning. But this, I'm wondering, I wonder if this is like an old formulation and this is a new formulation, or whether this one just needs time to darken up and get a bit stronger, because I could really smell the nuts more in this than I can in this. This one, it's very sweet and slightly creamy in a kind of slightly almondy way. I don't get any pistachio in the tester. And then I very quickly get the florals, and then the patchouli is quite strong. I would describe the patchouli in these perfumes as a little bit scratchy. I think that's the best way for me to explain what I'm feeling about them. But this one was, when I first sprayed this is way more creamy. It's more nutty, and it feels a little bit more gourmand and a little less floral and less scratchy. This is the preferred version, really. Like overall, it's a bit softer, but like I said, I don't know whether this is just because this has maybe been reformulated slightly, or whether this is just much stronger because it's older. This was brand new, so I assume it's never been sprayed before, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe the air just gets into these kind of sprayers a bit better because it's got like an open nozzle. But yeah, it's really pretty, and I feel like if you want something for a party, it's such a good perfume for a party. And honestly, Like, I could have worn any of these to a party, I think, and they would have been absolutely brilliant. It's because I had so many things going on this week that I was like, well, I'm just going to wear all the stuff, right? So, last thing I'm going to talk about is this little guy. Oh, it's not the last thing I'm going to talk about, actually. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? This is the last thing I actually properly wore, full day wore. So this is from Perfume Parlour, if you can see. Ugh. Perfume Parlour are a British dupe house, and I've got loads of their little samples now because they're a house that I genuinely like, and I rarely have problems with them putting horrible aroma chemicals that aren't normally in perfumes in all their dupes. They only seem to put aroma chemicals in things that actually turn out to have those aroma chemicals in, so they're pretty good dupes. Not all of them are perfect, but this is one where I've never smelt the original because it's been discontinued for ages. So this is Cacharel Gloria. I'm just going to see... It's got a weird, long, thin bottle with a tiny little, looks like a red jelly bean on top. I've never smelt it before, but the notes have always made me want to smell this. So I'm just going to put her over here. So it's 224, but if you search for Gloria on Perfume Parlour, it's the only thing you're going to get coming up, you know, it's the only search result you're going to get. So Gloria has in the top notes amaretto, amber, hibiscus and Bulgarian rose. Middle notes vanilla, amber, white pepper and white flowers. Base notes cherry, almond, tonka bean, styrax and cedar. I mean, it sounded so delicious, and it is very sweet, tasty and delicious. I definitely get a hint of that almond. I get the amaretto, but it's not too boozy. Gentle hibiscus, gentle rose, very, very sweet cherry, a shed load of tonka bean and a bit of spice. And actually, I don't know whether it's deliberate. I don't really know much about Styrex, but this goes through a phase of having a slightly weird smoky smell, and I don't know if that's in the original Gloria or whether that's just this dupe, but I also kind of dig that. Like, I don't at all mind a little bit of a spicy spice or a little bit of a smoky perfume, you know. I quite like a smoky perfume. So I can't comment if this actually smells like Gloria. I can comment that it's really pretty, and I am sort of considering whether I might want a little bottle of this. I wouldn't go for anything big. This one, it's so sweet that I was thinking, oh, I could get the elixir version because they offer elixirs, which are like a stronger version, but I don't know that I need to just because it's so sweet. It's not like the longest lasting, but it's very sweet. Weirdly, this makes me think of a perfume from my childhood, and I can't put my finger on what it is. I've been trying to work it out. The thing that I think it might be is it called Elie? A coaty perfume that I think was spelled I-C-I. I don't know if you call it Icky or Issy. It's in this weird little cool sort of coral red bottle with a little red lid and a little metal bit kind of between the bottle and the lid. And I had that one when I was a kid. I haven't smelt it for years, but that one I think it's got chocolate in it. And I have a feeling that everyone has and says it smells like a very, very sweet, slightly chocolatey cherry and almond perfume. And I am wondering, because I never had Gloria. I've never had it. I don't know anyone who had that perfume. So I don't believe I've ever smelt it. I've certainly never worn it. But it just really transported me back to being a kid in the 90s. So now I'm thinking it has to have smelt like something I've owned before. And I don't think it was anything from Avon. I don't think it was anything from the Body Shop. And I just started thinking about that red bottle. So I'm wondering... Yeah, it's really taking me back. It really smells like the 90s, I have to say. This has a classic 90s base to it. It's, I don't even know how I would quite explain it, but it has a thickness and a sweetness. And it's not... I don't know that it's like musky, but it kind of reminds me, even though it hasn't got sandalwood in it, it's making me think of that kind of creamy, strong, musky, sandalwoody scent again in things like Oxygen and Cerruti. It has like a really specific 90s DNA. It is kind of almost relentlessly sweet. It's not massively tangy. There's not citrusy notes in it. But I'm also kind of into it. I feel like, yeah, I'm probably not going to get the Elixir version just because I think that I did wear this for the full day at work. And I think I did respray it a few times and I was like, I think I'm probably good with this for like half a day and then move on to something else because it is so sweet and it doesn't smell massively complex, but it is yummy and it made me feel quite young and like sweet and cute, you know. It's really, I'm kind of into it. I think if you like the idea of a very creamy sweet cherry and almond and you like 90s perfumes, if you're in the UK or like anywhere that they ship to, if you can get it for affordable price, you can get like an 8 ml bottle of this for something like £8. Like it's really affordable. I'm not sponsored. I've just found a dupe house that I actually like for once. Yeah, so Cacharel Gloria, an interesting one. That one's from Perfume Parlour because you can't get it anymore. If any of you had this perfume, please tell me in the comments. And if any of you had Elie from Coty, please tell me if you had that one and what you remember it smelling like, because it's been so long since I smelt it. I feel like if I have a scent memory, it's not so strong to me that I can put my finger on it and say this is definitely reminding me of that one, because it hasn't been compared on Fragrantica, but when I've read the comments, everyone's like, so many people are saying really sickly sweet kind of cherry and almond vibe from this, and that's what I get from Gloria, from the dupe of Gloria. So yeah, I've worn a fair few sweet cherry perfumes, I've worn a few almond perfumes, and it's been pretty delicious this week, to be honest. I've not regretted any of these choices. I think probably, I mean, to be fair, my least favourite is this one, but I sort of have to be in the mood for very sweet heliotropy powdery perfumes. But I didn't not like wearing it throughout the day. It's just, I just wore so many good ones this week. Anyway, let's see what's coming up. Thank you so much for all watching and commenting on my first collection video, my first display video. It's been so popular, I sort of couldn't believe it. I was like, whoa, I think I've had more watches of that video in the first like 3 days than I've had on some of my videos in like 3 years. So amazing. Thank you so much. I kind of can see what people want now, but you know, I'm going to keep playing my own furrow and doing whatever I want. But anyway, occasionally I'm going to do things that you ask me for. So the second part is coming up, and I really hope you enjoy it. And then let's see, next week, what's happening next week? I will be having to record my video a little bit. I think I'll have to do it on Friday next week, maybe, ready for Sunday, because I'm going to be travelling down with my husband to my parents' home for Christmas. So I might take the microphones down and we might do a fun one when we're down there. We'll see. But yeah, so it should all be pretty normal videos, because I've got things that I made a while ago that are all kind of queued up to come up, you know, in the next week or so, even when I'm not in London and I'm not with my collection. But yeah, it'll be fun to maybe make a little video when I'm down there. We'll see. Thank you so much. Oh, guys, I nearly forgot. There were 2 perfumes that I sprayed on my skin this week. So, sorry, this is all a bit mixed up now. But randomly, I was literally talking to one of our directors. I was in her office and I noticed she had some perfumes. We were just having a chat about something. And then we started talking about perfumes and she said, oh, try them on your skin. So there were 2 that I tried on my skin this week. She likes citrusy light perfumes, you know. So one of them, I've never tried Liz Earle before. Have any of you guys tried Liz Earle? So she has Botanical Essence number 1. This is lemon, bergamot, bitter orange, mandarin orange and cardamom in the top. Middle notes of lavender, geranium, coriander, Damascus rose and nutmeg in the mid. Base notes vetiver, cedar, tonka and Indonesian patchouli leaf. So I sprayed this one on one of my hands. I literally sprayed it across all my fingertips because I already had perfume on. I think this is the day I had Gloria on actually. So you know, you don't want to mix those together because they're going to be very, very different scents. But yeah, so Botanical Essence number 1 is a really beautiful sherbety, citrusy scent. It obviously dries down to get a little bit more aromatic, starts to smell a bit more like a classic cologne smell, but I found it slightly less masculine than classic cologne smells. You get like a hint of lavender, you get a little bit of spice, it's a bit woody in the base, but it's really sherbety, nice lemon in the top, and the lemon in it reminded me of my Aqua Colonia lemon and ginger, and also reminded me a bit of the sherbety lemon in the top of my And Fragrances Far perfume. Really lovely, quite natural smelling lemon. So if you are into bright, kind of classic citrusy perfumes, Botanical Essence number 1, really pretty, not very long lasting as you can imagine, but it's beautiful. And then the other one that I tried, which I've always wanted to try on my skin, but I've just never tried before, is Chanel number 19, and she has the Eau de Toilette. So we also talked about the Poudre, and she doesn't like powdery perfumes, but I feel like I might really appreciate the Poudre version. I really need to go and try it. So the Eau de Toilette version of Chanel number 19 is galbanum, hyacinth, bergamot, neroli in the top. Mid notes of iris, orris root, rose, lily of the valley, narcissus, jasmine, and ylang ylang. Base notes oak moss, vetiver, leather, cedar, musk, and sandalwood. Oh, see, this is a classic one because when I first spray it, I get the notes that I struggle a bit more with. So oak moss and a lot of galbanum and all the green notes and the citrusy notes. But then it kind of gently starts to dry down and the iris and the hyacinth comes through. You get more of that kind of orris root, you get some musk, and then it starts smelling really comforting to me. It went kind of, I feel like it went a tiny bit soapy on my skin a little bit in a way that I really loved. That's probably the musk. And it just, I mean, Chanel, you know, it's not one that I feel like I need to have in my collection because I know myself and I know I'm not going to reach for that kind of thing all the time. But it was so like gentle and calming and pretty, and I totally understand why she likes it. And she says that sometimes she sprays it on before she goes to bed, and I totally see that. Like, because although it's quite kind of, I mean, astringent, maybe not quite the word, but it is quite kind of citrusy and like nose tingly and very green when you first spray it. So that's kind of like one that would really wake me up, that kind of smell. But when it dries down, it is very calming, and I totally understand that. So yeah, so I got to try that. So yeah, then we had a little chat about perfumes for a little bit, so that was nice. There are a couple of people at my work who are interested in perfumes. That's interesting. So sometimes I do talk to people about it, but only a couple. Anyway, I will actually say goodbye this time. Thank you so much for watching. If you're subscribed already, you are brilliant and wonderful, and thank you so much for your support. It's extremely touching that anyone wants to watch anything that I, you know, make and me rambling on or whatever. If you do like my videos and you're not subscribed, please do consider subscribing. It makes a huge difference to me. I love it when you guys comment as well. I love chatting with you. Obviously, all of these might smell totally different to you, and I love knowing how things smell. So definitely, I mean, this is my newest one, so let me know what you think of this. I didn't used to like this one. I didn't like it when I smelt it in store. I found it too sweet, too strong, too floral. But me and Orange Blossom, we've kind of come to an agreement, and now I can deal with it in certain perfumes. But yeah, definitely let me know if you've had Gloria. I want to know everything. I want to know everything about how you feel about Gloria. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. And the next time I make one of these, it'll nearly be Christmas. So I've got time off this week. We'll see what I choose to wear while I'm just around the house and feeling like a little Christmas fairy. All right. Bye, my loves. Bye.